Okay, welcome back to the Hunter Call of the Wild. I am the Gray Hair Gamer, your host. Thanks for joining us today. And to start off this episode, I would like to make an apology about yesterday's episode number 9. That apparently we hit some coding issues with Twitch and then also with YouTube when we were exporting the video from live stream to video format. There are a couple sections that get a bit garbled. It was out of my control, and I would like to apologize. So, with that out of the way, hopefully we'll have a better experience today. A recap of yesterday. We finally unlocked our new scope. We were using the 1 to 4 power scope, and now we have unlocked the 4 to 8 power, and we managed to get enough money to purchase it. So we'll go under rifle sights in our store here, and we will find that Hyperion right there, 4 to 8 power. Okay, purchase, yes. Alright, so what we're going to do to show a comparison is when we go in our storage, we are going to equip the 270 Stradivarius and the 243. We will equip one of them with the 1 to 4 power scope and one with the 4 to 8 power scope, so we can do a side-by-side comparison of the difference that it makes, and it will be a very dramatic difference. Okay, it dropped, pretty much wiped out all our money. $1,500 left, but that's okay. We'll just go out and get us some more animals. Okay, so now that we've got it from the store, from storage into our inventory, we have to equip it in our inventory. So we're going to put the 270 here at spot 3. Like I've said in previous episodes, I like to have my binoculars right at position 2 and have a weapon on either side of it. Normally I go with a larger weapon in slot 1 and a smaller weapon in slot 2. These two are roughly the same size, but it's only for illustration of the sights. But I will carry like my main rifle or weapon here in slot 1, or a larger caliber weapon for bigger animals, longer distance shots, and then in position 3 I'll carry a smaller caliber, like the 22 or the 45 Vasquez air rifle, something for smaller animals or closer animals. But right now we're going to try the 240 or the 270 in that spot. Okay, and we'll collect the ammo, and now we have to change our sights around a little bit. Okay, our 1 to 4 power scope we are going to put on the Stradivarius, and our brand new Hyperion 4 to 8 power scope we're going to put on our 243. So now we should be good to go here. Now this is the 270 with the 1 to 4 power scope. Let's pick the outhouse here. And this is the sight picture that we're used to. Okay. We can zoom in quite a bit, but now let's have a look at our new scope. You can even see that it looks much larger on the weapon. You can see the end there is straight, and this one is very flared. Now we're already zoomed in
close to where you're at right
to where you're at right now. I'll send the coordinates. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. Every day. Now we can really really zoom in, and we can put a shot right in the middle of that heart if we chose to. Okay, so this is going to make a big difference in our hunts, being able to take shots that are further away, being able to zoom in on the animal more and get a larger sight picture. What I mean by sight picture, if you're unfamiliar with that term, when we had this scope zoomed all the way in, you can see that heart on the door there is still relatively small. That is a small sight picture. Okay, it's going to be very hard to land a shot in that small area. But with our new scope, you can see how much larger. It's double the size. So it will be much, much easier to land a shot in that area. That's what we mean by a sight picture, is the size of the animal or target while looking through the scope. Okay, and where we left off yesterday, again, whenever you exit the game, it teleports you automatically back to your closest discovered hunting outpost. So it brought us back to here. We want to continue moving. We had a lot of good luck down around this lake yesterday in the last episode, but we also want to keep moving up and start exploring this river complex. And you can see it is very, very large. It also has up here through this area. I think we can go to, we can go to right here before we stop, before we reach the limits of the outpost, and also all the way up to here we can travel. So it's a lot of ground to cover yet. And I think what we're going to do, we still have our tent set up. We set up a tent in our one area. I think we took it down. So so we don't have to keep running back and forth here all the time. We're going to go in our storage, and we're going to have to free up a little bit of space. But since I've illustrated the difference between our two scopes, we're going to lighten up our load here and just go with the Ranger, our tried but true. We can eliminate the 1 to 4 power scope now, and now we should have some room to pick up a tent. Okay, and we have one already still in our inventory. Excellent. So that we don't have to keep running back and forth all the time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do what we were going to do in yesterday's episode. We are going to show off one of the DLC contents, the four-wheeler. It'll help us really cover some ground. Unfortunately, it's very loud and spooks a lot of animals, but we're going to just travel down to that area we want to get to. We're going to set up a tent, and then we're going to reset the time for morning, so spooking the animals should not be affected. You have a charcoal color, crimson color, and a jade color. It's just cosmetic. I like to pick the red just because it's more visible. It is very loud. I will warn everyone ahead of time. Turn down your volume a little bit when we jump on this four-wheeler. It's going to get noisy. Okay, so we want to go ahead and come down to this area where we ended off last time. We're going to drop the four-wheeler off there, and then by the time we walk up in here, hopefully we'll be done spooking those animals. I could reset the time right now, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to reset the time and then spend a half hour driving the four-wheeler. That's a waste of time. And if I'm going to make a lot of noise going into that area and spooking the animals, I want to be able to rest there and let the animals recover after I've spooked them, not before. So we got our waypoint, and we have the trail right there. So again, folks, hold on to your ears. This could get loud. Okay, and you can look around. It does not go where you are looking. You have to steer. Now, and that's with the left stick. Click the right stick, you have headlights for at night, just like with your headlamp. And off we go. I believe this is not the correct trail. We want to go this way. And you can see you can really get moving. Okay, just a few notes. With the four-wheeler, you do not have to stay on the trail. You can go anywhere. But when you get out into these weeds and whatnot, there are logs, there are big rocks that you can hit, and it will throw you around. And if you look down at the bottom right, the little blue bar above our heart meter is the health of the four-wheeler. You can damage it running into trees, running into logs, going off cliffs, and it will start to smoke, and if it takes too much damage, it will explode and hurt you as well. So you do want to be careful. One thing you can notice now, the engine is shut off. We are not making any noise, but as soon as we start this thing up, you can see even sitting at an idle, we are making 3 red bars of noise. Just a huge amount of noise. So when we're on the four-wheeler, stealth flies out the window. Now we can still look around while we're driving, but it can be difficult to keep on the path. You can see there we got thrown around quite a bit. Oh, and there's a moose. We could take a chance and jump off and take a shot at him. There's another moose. Oh, and there we got stopped. We ran into that log. It did do a little bit of health damage to us, but nothing major. And no, you cannot run through trees. And yes, you can get stuck. You will notice while we've been going here, we've been seeing these little marks appearing All kinds of animals have been giving us warning calls because we are just making a buttload of noise. Okay, this is a good spot, so we'll get off. Let that die down. Now we can leave the four-wheeler here, and if we end our game session, it will automatically go back to the garage. It will not stay here next game session. It will not be here. Or if we decide to fast travel, we can summon this again from any of our outposts as well as our tents, and it will teleport it to us. So we don't have to worry about it sitting there. We can just leave it there. So now if we look on our map, you can see how far we covered all the way down this trail in a very short amount of time. Okay, so now our next step is to move on up to this edge and set us up a tent. We may even go a little further. We may even go up to here. So then that way we're equidistant from this river system as well as the rest of this lake. Time is 17:44, so it will be getting dark soon. Now we can turn our volume back up. We're safe with the noise. And if it does get dark, remember the right stick, we have their headlamp. Now we come out here and we have a look. Now we can easily see all the way across. The only time the larger scopes are inconvenient is when you have animals that are right in front of you. Now there's two ways you can go about resolving that issue. Like I use the smaller rifle at my position 3 in my inventory with the smaller scope. So I have a large weapon with a large scope for distance shots or very big animals, and I have a smaller rifle with a smaller scope for up close shots or smaller shots. There's another thing you can do. The second method is to, when you have your, like we have this rifle equipped, we can push up on our D-pad, and if you notice it says there manage sights or select. We can manage the sights, we can detach the sight and just use the iron sights. And it sounds like we got something right in front of us. Yeah, moose. Whoa! Hello. And there's another. See, these animals, when we made all that noise... Oh, there's a male. When we made all that noise and spooked these animals, they're now trying to come back into their zones. Missed her. So you can see that the iron sights can be a little more difficult to manage, but when the animals are point blank range up in your face, it can be a help. So now to put our sights back on, we push up again while the rifle is selected, push up again to manage the sights, and then push A to attach the sights. Okay, so now let's check out what we managed to hit. Too bad it was the female that came out first. It would have been nice to have the shot on the male and got the nice rack. But again, at this point, we're just looking for money and experience, and all the animals give that. Oh. Bleed rate very low. We may be tracking this one a little bit So if we don't see a corpse here soon, we're just going to let it go. So that is one nice thing with the game version. We don't have to worry so much about the ethics. That in real life, we would not leave a wounded animal to continue to suffer. We would track it down and put the animal out of its misery. But this is a video game. So, in video game rules, if the animal would go off and die, it will respawn. If it doesn't die, then it will heal by the next game session. So, no harm, no foul. Okay, I think this is blood up here. Yeah, here's a blood trail. Since we don't want to pass up the chance to get a little more money, since that scope pretty much wiped us out as far as funds, we are going to track this one just a little bit. But being a moose and using such a small caliber weapon, we might not have killed it. Okay, so we'll just give it another minute or so, and if we don't see a corpse, then we're going to get on with our day. Okay, well, let's proceed. We don't want to spend all day and all night tracking one animal. We have some other stuff going on here. Like I said, we want to try and get up into this area and set our tent up here. 700 meters. And then we want to reset the time till morning. So that all the animals that we spooked with the noise from our four-wheeler will have come back, as well as spooking the animals from setting up our tent. But you can see how quickly, from the time we got off that four-wheeler to the time those moose came through, how quickly they wanted to come back to their zone. And now that we know that zone is there, we can go back tomorrow and game tomorrow at roughly the same time, and we should find them there again, and we will have a second opportunity to put a bullet in her heart. Okay, here's a zone. This looks like bunny rabbits. Yep, bunnies 1030 to 1400, and we're at 1800, so they're going to be long gone from this zone. That's an important thing to notice when you discover a zone, is check the active time. The active time also appears on the map. If we put our cursor over here, you can see black-tailed deer, 1230 to 1600. This zone, Jackrabbit 1030 to 1400. Okay, so a little bit further here, and we will be in a relatively safe area to put up our tent. And again, we were shooting for in between these two water areas so we can easily reach both of them. And there's a bear. We can't see him. He smelled us and probably heard us. He'll be back when we reset the time as well. Okay, so there's the end of that one lake. And setting up a base up here would be very nice because we will be able to hunt one side, fast travel back to our tent here, and then hunt the other side very easily. Or if we would get in the situation where we're hunting this left side and we shoot an animal on the right side and we don't want to have to hike all the way around, we can fast travel back and go down the right side to claim the animal or track it, whatever we need to do. So there are some tricks, not really tricks, but some techniques that you can use when placing your tents, placing your tripods and things like that. And that is one of the nice things with the tents, with the tripods. If you get into an area and you set it up and it just turns out it just doesn't work, you can pick it up and carry it off. Move it somewhere else. Okay, so we've still got 300 meters to go yet. So again, we're going to reset the time. Make it morning again, so we're not real concerned about making noise. Anything that we spook will come back when we reset the time. Another coyote. She's hiding in that brush. Say the coyotes, they can be very, very difficult to see, being that they're small and the color of their coat blends in so well. They can definitely be a challenge just to pick out. Thought I saw something there, but oh well. Okay, so now we're getting a lot closer to where we want to be. Let's cover this last little bit and we'll get our tent set up. There's probably that same coyote that we just heard. It just came through here. So that's a good sign. If they came through here once, they will probably come through here again. So we've heard the coyotes, we've heard bear. We obviously had to run in with that group of moose. We know there are bunny rabbit need zones in this area, as well as white-tailed deer. We should have a good day of hunting. And that's just from exploring this side. We still have a bit to check out over here as far as need zones, and then we'll be able to access this area as well. Okay, so we do want to be back a little bit from where we want to hunt, because setting up the tent, and I believe, unless they changed it, fast traveling to a tent will sometimes spook the animals in close proximity. So let's see here. We got our inventory. Let's go down to our structures. Put that in our inventory. Okay, now the fun part, trying to find a proper place to put it. Because it will not let you. There, we can place it. Ugh, twitchy, twitchy, twitchy. We had it there, but it's at an angle. I don't like it. Let's try down here a bit. And we want to spin around so that the door... And we had one little spot. See, they can be touchy about where they want to go, where you can place them. Luckily, the tripods are not so twitchy. Oh, there we had where to go. There's one little tiny spot. There, bingo. All right, and you can see it's already starting to get dark here. So now what we're going to do is go in here. And again, the trick we had before is if we want to come out into one of these areas where there is no hunting outpost, and we want to set up a tent, and we want to set up, say, a tripod, don't carry both. You know, we would have had to got rid of half our stuff to have the room to carry both. But by carrying only the tent, now we can come here and we have full access to our cache, our store, and then we just take a tripod or whatever it is we want from here and go set it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and reset the time. Set it for 6:42. You notice the tent, it does cost a little bit less. When we reset the time before in our hunting reserve or hunting outpost, it cost $250. From here, it only costs $188. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but sometimes every dollar can help. So here we are. It's a nice, bright, shiny morning. I want to check how many... we have 27 applications of our scent blocker left. Excellent. Okay. So now we can remove our waypoint. And I think the path we're going to take is to backtrack along this side down to where we had our hunting pressure before, and then if we're doing well, we may continue all the way around the shore and circle back up, or we can go down to this hunting pressure and cut across. See, we could come over here and directly down, but then we basically have to backtrack to continue. So we're going to head down to about here. Okay, and the wind is not our friend right now. So we'll go ahead and use a little scent blocker. And get our binoculars out here. And let's see if we can find something to kill. Now, one thing that we've talked about a little bit before is, like, say, for example, you want to get the great one. The great one is only in the whitetail deer species. And what a lot of folks will do is, like, here, let's look at our map. We just discovered we had that whitetail drink zone, or blacktail. Okay, now we're going to say this is a whitetail zone. We can see that that zone is active from 1230 to 1600. So usually all of the drink zones for deer, or if this was whitetail, all the drink zones for whitetail deer would be active at roughly that same time, 1230 to 1600. It may be 12 o'clock to 1530 or 1 o'clock to 1630, but it's roughly going to be that time frame that all the deer in all the drink zones in the whole map are going to be at those zones. So what a lot of people will do is not set the time for 6 o'clock in the morning. They'll set it for like noon, and that gives them a little bit of time to get into position and just hunt that time frame, that part of a day, while the deer are active, and it'll give you a much higher chance of finding just that animal. We're not at that point yet with this game. We still have a lot of zones to discover yet. You can see that we only have a very small number of zones. You'll see that as we go on and on, finding new zones, that our map will literally become polluted. It will become very hard to sometimes even separate out the different zones, because you will find so many. Because if we're just going to hunt zones, it's like white-tailed drink zones, we want to have a lot of them discovered on our map so that we have more options of places to go. I mean, if you're going to hunt whitetail drink times and you only have 2 whitetail drink zones discovered, it really limits you. Hello, Mr. Moose. And he probably smelled us, possibly saw us. Right there it is. So we know with our 243, moose are it's not guaranteed that we're going to get a kill. So we have 2 options here. Either just ignore this moose, let him go, or what do we have in there? Okay, it's run off. We can either shoot this moose and hope for the best and try to track it. Wow, his AI must be going crazy. Now you can see, look at this sight picture. Boom, right in the ribs. When they run back and forth like that, it can be difficult to track, to say the least. There's one in the head. There's another one. Now that may be worth going after. We put a few shots into that moose. So now this is a little different. This is a dead bunny rabbit. We did not shoot this bunny rabbit. What this is actually a coyote feed zone because they eat the bunnies. See? Eating zone, need zone. From 1730 to 2021, 2300. And we also want to examine this. See, there's the zone where our moose was. 0400 to 0830. That is what our moose was doing here. So this should be the tracks right here. Yeah, there's blood. That looks like a vital organ hit. So between, yeah, vital organ. So between that and if we manage to land any of the other shots, we should have a very good chance of taking this animal down, even though that we are only using this little 243. Now the tracking is going to get a little confusing because you can see that he was, or she was just running all crazy back and forth, back and forth. There, looks like another hit. This is a second vital organ hit. Yep, very fresh. So between the two shots, we should down this animal very quickly. Which way are these tracks going? Okay, this way. And we can, if we were going for trophy, we are allowed in our harvest check to put 2 rounds into an animal without suffering on our harvest check. But this is a female. We're not going to get a trophy for it anyhow. We're just looking for the money and experience, so we're not going to really care. Yep, there she is. We're not going to really care that we had to pump 3 or 4 rounds into her. Okay, so let's go on up here and claim our prize. Hey, you can see it's female, none. And yeah, we actually only hit her twice. Flesh and left lung, which did 95% of the damage. And then see that one got blocked by the scapula. It hit that bone and the bone stopped it from penetrating the organs. So even though this is a polymer tip, it is still very limited in its penetration. Okay, so we're going to get back. You can see we kind of went off the side of our track a little bit, but now we have some more zones. So we actually want to try and get up to right here, this area. Still, the wind is not in our favor. A couple things we can do about that is to keep reapplying our scent blocker. It is rather expensive, $300 per shot. It costs $3,000 for a can with 10 applications. So I will withhold using it until we have like a warning call or something, or we spot an animal in front of us, to only use it when we need it. Or we could turn around and go the other way. You know, we could hunt this direction and put our waypoint up here somewhere where we work with the wind. But the wind may, you know, it will shift around a bit. Thankfully not too much, but it could shift, and then we could have the wind in our favor. So let's continue on. Hopefully we'll maybe find another... Oh, there's something. There's something running. I heard footsteps right before that rain started. Now I am seeing bunny. That's obviously bunny poop right there. So we are probably in an area with bunny rabbits, but then here's also moose poop. So it could have been a moose as well. Yeah, right there. There are moose tracks. Okay. Yeah, there's more moose tracks. Moose tracks, a very good Ben & Jerry's flavor, by the way. It's one of my favorites. Moose tracks and Chunky Monkey. Okay, we're almost to our waypoint. Okay, and you can see
I spotted some tracks earlier, close to where you're
close
at.
to where you're at right
I'll
now. I'll send the coordinates. Thanks, buddy. Now this might not be like such a bad area. This may be a spot where we would want to try to place maybe a tree stand right up in this tree, or place a tripod right here, because we do have a very good view all the way down to there, into these trees, and all the way basically back up towards, oh, right there, hello, towards our tent. There's a moose right there too. Now look at the, oh, there's a male. Come on, buddy. Turn sideways. That should have been a spine hit. But I was a little slow on getting the weapon tracking in there. There's his two. Those are the deer. Those are the same moose. I would pretty much guarantee it. We saw yesterday game time before we set up our tent. I would pretty much guarantee it. So we know we got a hit on that male. It's just how good of a hit. And that should be right in here somewhere. We should see some blood right there. And unfortunately that looks like, yep, no organs hit just now. Yeah, it was a bad shot, I think. So we're going to follow a little bit, but we're going to follow it stealthily and hope that those animals come back. Because moose, like I said, for being big, clumsy looking animals, they can frickin' run. They can run fast and they can run a long time. But, so if we go chasing off at them, ooh, thunderstorms. To go chasing after them willy-nilly is pretty futile. But if we use a little bit of stealth and patience, sometimes they'll come right back to us. Now these tracks are unselected, so those... Hello, Mr. Moose. Turn sideways, buddy. Come on. Give me one side shot. We'll go into the lungs that way. Now you can see that stealth paid off. One more into you for good measure. There, the stealth definitely paid off there. Yeah, there is blood trail there. And now this is what we like to see. We like to see nice big blood splatters. Vital organ hit. 2 vital organ hits. That was probably both into... It's probably only a single lung from the angle and the low penetration even of this polymer round. But still, between the two of them should score us a kill. If we don't fall bug to the disappearing tracks. This is a bug I hope by now the developers know about it, as I am not the only one to have noticed it and to have talked about it. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to try something. I've had this work. Oh, shut up, bitch. Okay, now we can go right in between those front legs, right into the heart. See, that big scope makes a big difference. Okay, we want to go right here where we found this, where we've had the blood hits. And we are going to go on our map and we are going to put a waypoint right there. Now, I've noticed before that if I run out of the area a little bit and then run back, that sometimes the... What is that? Moose. Sometimes the tracks will reappear, but seeing this, we might not be a victim to the disappearing tracks. We were just looking in the wrong spot. And that appears to be the case. There you can see right here, we're in that eating zone for these moose. So that's the track we're on. And it was bunny rabbits. Okay, where did your tracks go again? Okay, this is the wrong path. When in doubt, always go back to the last track you found and go from there. There, I see something. And I don't believe this is the correct trail either. This is showing bronze, no trophy, and I'm not seeing any blood. I think when we ID'd that bunny need zone, that we picked the wrong trail back up. So again, when in doubt, go back to your last known trail and pick up the trail from there. So we're going to go back to our waypoint. Wow, hello. Moose everywhere. Oh, I'll be so glad when we have a bigger rifle. Like the 7mm, we'd be able to drop 2 of these right now. Okay. Yeah, see, these are not selected. We picked up the wrong trail when we ID'd those bunnies. So now that we know we're on the right trail, we're back on the right path, we can make up some time here. Did he turn around? Maybe. This fella, he's been running around all over the place while we've been trying to track him. So that can be a confusing part of tracking when, there he is, when they double back over their own trail. The DLC content with the hunting dog, the bloodhound, definitely helps with that. But they can also be a hindrance as well, the dogs. They can lose the trail if they're at low level. You have to level them up. Look at that nice big rack. Oh, goodness. I think we'll take a photo of that. I hit the wrong button. But see, yeah, there we can see that first shot was a spine shot. Thoracic vertebrae. It only did 14% of the damage. The second shot's the good one when we hit that lung. You can see 14% versus 75%. Our third shot was low to get in the lung. And our last shot was in the skull, which you would think would be instant kill, just from the fact that you're rattling the animal's brains around, but surprisingly it's not. This was a silver We look here, we can see that we would needed, what, 194 for gold. This should have been a gold. Okay, because we lost it because of improper ammo. It's too small, actually. We shot it more than 2 times. Yeah, we put some rounds into this one. And we damaged trophy organs, mainly the skull. So that's what cost us that animal being a gold trophy. Okay, so we managed to get quite a bit accomplished there today. You can see we tracked him back all the way back into that area. We did get our tent set up for exploration into all of this that we have not spotted out yet. Let's check our codex, our hunting log, latest harvest. You can see we took, today is 9/19. We took just 2 moose so far today. Yesterday we had a very good day. 1, 2, something's coming. Let's get under cover. Attack of the bunnies! Attack of the bunnies. And again, they're lucky we do not have the 22. Okay, so we're gonna let the little bunnies have their fun. But we did have a pretty decent day. Even though we only killed a couple animals today, we are now in a very good setup to further explore this whole big area. We're set up with our tent in the area. We spotted out a couple potential places for tripods. And we are good to go. Where's that bunny? Yeah, now you can see, look how much of our scope is filled up with this bunny rabbit. He looks positively huge. But we're going to let him go. So we're going to wrap it up. We're at 63 minutes. I like to keep my videos about an hour. So, again, I'm your host, the Gray Hair Gamer. Thanks for joining us today. We truly appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. If you did like the video, found it informative or funny, or you just like watching me make an idiot of myself, feel free to give a thumbs up, a like, a follow. It really helps out the channel. I really enjoy bringing out this content, and I would like to continue doing that. And just even a little bit of your support does wonders. So until next time, again, I'm the Gray Hair Gamer, and keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the bunny rabbit, as you never know where that next big trophy is going to be. So until next time, take care.